Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it's time for the Gnome Dies Bee Keeper Add Ons assembly video. Hey, so I'm going to be assembling the new Gnome Dies Bee Keeper Add Ons. I'm using the Girl Gnome dies. I'm using the Gnome Dies Extra Parts Add Ons 1 and 2 just because I made a few. I'm using the Gnome Dies Girl Gnome Face Add Ons and the Gnome Dies. So lots of Gnome Dies. So first I have these little gnomes cut out of American Crafts black cardstock, and then I'm using American Crafts dark brown cardstock for the beard and the hair. And I'm just running some close to my heart white daisy ink around the edges. Any white pigment ink will do. I just want the mustache to show up on the beard. Because I find that sometimes, depending on the color of your beard, your mustache kind of gets lost in your beard. So that's why I kind of like highlight the edge a little bit. Now, it does dry back a little bit, so it's not so bright, but it gives like a borderline. You know what I mean? So I'm adding down those two layers first. You'll notice that I'm not using any dimension because there's going to be a net over his face or vellum, right, for the beekeeper outfit. Okay, so you want to do some gnome surgery. Remove the top of the hat, and I take off his feet as well. Really, you didn't have to use the base layer for these. I'll show you that with the girl on the beekeeper outfit after. Okay, so there we go. So now I am going to put together the little hat. Those were cut out of Paper Tray Ink Honey Nut and American Crafts, like a light yellow cardstock. There we go. And I'm using Barely Art glue, reverse tweezers. All my die cutting today was done with my Anna Griffin Empress machine. There we are. So now I'm sort of lining up where that hat goes so I can eyeball where that net goes, because the net's going to go under the hat. So I'm going to stick that down. Now, looking back, I could have glued the hat on top of that netting and then put both pieces on top if I was a smart person. But at the time, I was thinking, how am I going to get that net lined up? Crazy. Okay, so now I'm going to put together his little beekeeper outfit. So the first layer is cut out of American Crafts black cardstock, and then that layer there is cut out of scrapbook.com's Boho Smooth cardstock in like a tan color. And then the little shoes were cut out of American Crafts black cardstock. And then also Paper Tray Ink black cardstock for the soles of the shoes. And Paper Tray Ink's Smokey Shadow for the boot top of each shoe. And that's just so there's a little bit of definition. There we go, between the different layers. And, it just, adds a little something, something. There we go. So I just think these little bees are adorable. Super cute stuff to use with with the new bees, right? And there's a lot of other things in this set that is adorable as well. Okay, so now I'm going to stick my little beekeeper down on the pants level. There we go. And then I'll add the hat on top. And we will have a super cute little beekeeper. There we go. Isn't that adorable? So cute. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. Now there's my little beekeeper. Isn't he cute? And that's on an A2 size card base. Okay, so now I'm going to put together another one of these little beekeepers. So I'm going to start with the pants using the exact same things. There we go. Now remember, everything that I use is always listed underneath this assembly video. For anything during the assembly video, anything I use during it is listed under the actual assembly video itself. So there we go, and I'm going to add on my shoes. That's American Crafts black cardstock again. And then the little soles are Paper Tray Ink black cardstock. There we go. You gotta love reverse tweezers. I don't know what I did before I discovered using reverse tweezers for things. I'm kind of all thumbs. And then adding on the little paper tray ink Smokey Shadow boot toes. There we go. And there, it's so cute. So this is just a piece of scrap paper, and I'm adding some ATG tape. And now I'm going to add my little gnome bottom to that. There we go. So you can build up from the bottom. Now we've got the little girl face. There we go. I'm just trying to decide where that's going to go. And her little nose. And the skin tones were both cut from P13 Stamping Pad Skin Tones. Remember, you can get that from the Jaded Blossom store. Now pay attention. This is where I screw up. There we go. I should have just added the hat first, but look at this. Like, that would have been a nightmare. Yikes. I'm thinking, why does that look funny to me? But anyways, that's American Crafts brown cardstock. And I'm trying to get things lined up. And now we will get the little hat together. I still haven't figured out to put the net under the actual hat, glue the whole hat assembly first together. But you know, these are things that you learn, right? So for you, remember, assemble the hat all together first and then add it to the gnome. It's easier that way. Okay, so now I'm adding the hat on top of that netting or the vellum with some ATG tape and some Barely Art glue, just lining things up. There we go. I was just taking away those little paper slivers that you get from die cutting with a nail sponge. And I'm going to add the little band on the hat. That's American Crafts light yellow cardstock. There we go. And now we have a little girl bee keeper. There she is. Super cute. And there's two of them, right? A boy and a girl. Okay, so next we're going to put together, oops, sorry, I hit my little camera there. Next I'm going to put together a little honey jar that is cut out of paper tray ink, honey nut cardstock, American Crafts yellow cardstock. There we go. American Crafts black cardstock for the little hole in the top. There we go. And then American Crafts yellow cardstock for the honey spilling out. Kind of looks like a Winnie the Pooh honey jar. A little bit, right? So cute. Oh, adorable stuff. And then that is the layer that you would use if you want to, you know, have someone holding it. Otherwise, you could use it separately on your card. And there he is. Isn't that fun? And there's that jar. I did add some Spectrum Noir Clear Sparkle to the honey. Okay, so next we're going to put together the little beehive cut from American Crafts yellow cardstock, paper tray ink, honey nut cardstock, and then that's the layer for the hands again, if you want. Remember, you could have the bee from the other set holding these and add the little bee hands if you want, whatever you want to do. Okay, so next we're going to put together this really cute little bee. So I cut it out of white paper tray ink cardstock and then American Crafts yellow cardstock. You see that I'm going to add some black glaze pen to where the eye is, and then I used a BG10 marker from Copic to line the wings. Because I'm going to add vellum wings. Now, if you were just adding white wings, you could have cut that out of black and skipped coloring in that eye and coloring in those wings, whatever you want to do, right? So I'm going to add my little bee layer on top. There we go. I love this bee. It's my favorite. This little chubby bee is just adorable. So I'm going to add on my little stripes, starting with the one on the bum. And then there's one more stripe. You can see where they go according to the stitching. And there is the adorable bee. And you could have her holding it, but that would be dangerous, right? Because that's a huge bee. But you can use it without the little hand-holding piece as well. So next I'm going to put together these little tiny bees cut from American Crafts yellow cardstock and paper tray ink dark shadow. There's a plain head for the vertical one, and then there's one with an eye that you could face in either direction, right? And then I'm going to add on little wings that are cut out of vellum. There we go. Now, there are no stripes for these guys, so I'm going to add my own stripes with a black glaze pen. You could have used a marker, whatever you want, right? I just drew some lines. There we are. And then I'm adding on 2 wings on these ones. Excuse me, I'm yawning. Oh, goodness. Using my reverse tweezers to hold the wings in place and make sure they dry well. Next, I'm going to put together this little gnome dye Girl Gnome Face add-on. Boy, that's a mouthful. So first you start with the hat. There we go. And you do that when it comes to those gnome face add-ons because they line up perfectly under the hat. Next, so the first layer was cut from American Crafts yellow cardstock. This layer is cut from Paper Tray Ink Honey Nut cardstock. And I'm gluing those down. It looks like a little beehive hat. So this little thing that I'm putting together, basically that's the whole thing, right? It's a little bee hat. But I just kept this part in because, you know, it's good to see how you use these things. So I'm going to add my little first part with the ears down. There we go. And we got the little dress cut from Echo Park's Be Happy 6-inch pad. There we go. It's got a cute little pattern on it, little bee pattern, adding on another piece of pattern paper from that same pad. And then I'll pop up some bare feet. And remember, all the skin tones were cut from P13 Stamping Pad Skin Tones that's available over at the Jaded Blossom store under Fun Extras. Okay, so now I've got my little face. I'm going to add the hair on. That is American Crafts dark brown cardstock. Trying to line that up on top. Now I'm going to use the Valentine Faces, the Valentine Gnome Faces stamp set. You could use any stamp set, any of the gnome faces, but I thought I'd use this one because this is the most recent one, right? And I'm just going to line that up on my Misty and stamp a cute little face for fun. I'm going to add a little bit of EK Success chalk first to the cheeks. You could use like a R20 marker from Copic if you wanted to. There we go. And a super cute stamped face we have now. There we go. And we are going to glue that to the front of the gnome there. There we go. And it's adorable. Remember, you want to be careful of that Versafine Clair Nocturne ink because it does smear if it's not dry. I'm going to pop up the little nose with a piece of dimensional. There we go. Super cute. And now I'm going to give her little pigtails, cut from that same brown cardstock from American Crafts. There we go. Isn't she cute? I love her little hat, which would be fun for, you know, all of your bee cards, right? There we go. And then I'm going to use some little bows that were cut from that same Echo Park Be Happy 6-inch pad. That same, you know, pattern paper that I used for that V-neck part of her dress. There we go. And I'm going to use a Sakura white jelly roll pen and a number 10 to add some freckles because I can't help myself. And there we go. And that's her on an H2 size card. And then I'm just going to add some black glaze pen, little eyes to those 2 little bees. There's a little dent there or indentation that the die cuts. And I just, you know, put some, you know, glaze pen on there to make it shiny. So in the light, you can sort of see that there's an eye there. I don't know, you can't really see it in the video, but in real life, you can see it. And I'm just going to, like I said, add on those black glaze detail, just so we know we've got little bees that we're working with. And then lastly, we'll get this last guy done with some little black glaze pens. So this is a super cute little gnome add-on set that you're going to want to add to your repertoire, especially if you love bees as much as I do, and especially to go with those new big bees that we have. It's super cute. So thanks for stopping by. Be sure to check out my card video for today. Bye, everybody.